Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
We're back, man. Episode 278.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it. Future. What's funny is we've made some little satire regarding Future over the past, 20 or so episodes here and there.
Yeah.
But I guess we kind of manifested it because Future just dissed Russel Wilson.
Yeah.
Right?
Russel Wilson.
On a song. Let me click the article here. Future appears to diss Russel Wilson with F. Russell lyric. Time apparently doesn't heal all wounds for Future because the rapper just seemingly dissed the hell out of Russel Wilson in his latest song. The Atlanta MC dropped a controversial bar in his Turn Your Click Up collab with Quavo on Friday, rapping in his verse. I'll read it in his voice. I got it out the mud. No, he said, I got it out the field. Fuck Russell. Like, that's what he said. You want me to play the audio real quick?
I guess.
Let's run it real quick.
Wait, no, actually.
I can't run the whole song.
Yeah, don't play it.
You get a copyright or something.
Yeah, you get flagged.
Yeah, Future hasn't shied away from his thoughts on his ex-fiancée and mother of his child, Sierra. Moving on with the NFL quarterback, going in on the now married couple multiple times in interviews. Future Hendricks bashed Sierra for having Russell around Future Jr. early in their relationship, telling the Breakfast Club in 2015, you don't bring a man around your son. You've known this man for a few months and you're bringing him around your kid. Who does that? Okay. I will say this, though. Sierra looks happy. No, man, I think it's some sucker shit, man. I'll be real. Mm-hmm. I think that when we look at a guy like Future, we'll be like, this guy's got hoes, this dude's got money, he's a rapper, all this shit. But you can have all that and still be a very scorned individual. Because, see, here's the difference. He didn't have all these different women. He didn't had Lori Harvey, all these girls, but he has not had another Sierra yet. He was public with Sierra. People forget that. He was public, like they was about to get engaged and married and all of that. He has not found a comparable to Sierra yet. Yeah. And when because he talked about like, right now, I really don't want to get married and then like that. Like, I'm just trying to really focus on my career, and just, I'm just grinding right now. I'm grinding. And you was doing that shit and, and you got cold feet and you didn't marry the woman and now she moved on and now she with fucking Russell Wilson and he's doing everything you didn't do. Yeah. And even though Russell might be a little corny, at the same time, I don't know him very well at all, but he might be a good guy. Mm-hmm. Right. And then what's corny is you diss the guy that ain't a rapper. Yeah. So like, what the fuck you expect Russell Wilson to do? And then you dissed him. I feel like I was telling Keith earlier, I feel like a guy like Russell Wilson, his clapback will be like, I'm just going to pray for you, brother. I'm just going to pray for you. I'm going to love your son. I'm going to love your son even more. I'm going to give him all the care that he needs. I'm going to support him. And, that's not you talking. That's the devil talking. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for your salvation. And our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is going to deliver you from your pain. And like, man, don't tell me about no Jesus Christ, nigga. I ain't trying to hear that shit. You are not my friend, nigga. Get away from my son. Oh, man.
Like I said, I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do. The clapback, too, is going to be Russell Wilson's going to, like, post a picture of Future Jr., like, on his birthday and be like, I'm so privileged and blessed by God to be a role model in your life. I love you, Future. Right? That's how you're going to clap back on Future. Yeah. Like, nigga, don't be taking pictures of my son on his birthday.
You have a bright future ahead of you. That's just gonna be the Instagram post.
Oh man, and honestly, if you look at the two, fucking Russell Wilson is a better role model than his actual father.
For sure,
the father that talks about lean and hoes and drugs and being in the street. You got a guy that's actually like the measure of a man between those two is way different. Yeah, like way different, day and night.
Yeah. The accolades is different too, just as far as like, Russell Wilson, and if you relate, I think they're like comparable in terms of like their place in their respective careers. But in terms of like just raising a child, having a college degree and just being a husband, just those two things alone, I think it kind of puts you in a space where you're just a better role model than
at the very least. Future is fucking bothered by Russell Wilson. At the very least. Yeah. The very least, he is bothered by it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He said, don't be around my son and all of this. And it's like, dog, to a certain degree, I understand, but if I at least had a man around that was a decent role model and he wasn't some bum ass motherfucker around my kid, it wouldn't be nothing I could say. Same as this. This is comparable to freaking Matt Barnes, because I'm gonna tell you, Matt Barnes talks about the situation like he won. You didn't win. Even if you beat up Derek Fisher, you didn't win because the nigga that was fucking your wife is still fucking her.
Still together.
He's still fucking her and she's happy and he is the stepfather to your kids. You lost. Mm-hmm. And when Matt brings it up, Matt Barnes is like, yeah, I had rage. I went over there and, I fucked him up. But, and like he's proud that he went and assaulted this man.
Yeah.
But Derek Fisher won because he kept fucking your wife.
He been assaulting that pussy since 2000. What year was that?
Derek Fisher has been running the triangle offense on that pussy for years. That nigga Phil Jackson has been coaching Derek into that pussy for fucking years.
That's crazy.
You know how Phil Jackson did the whistle blowing thing, like
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But
the Zen master,
bruh. Honestly, Future he got to cut this shit out, man. You're looking bad, man.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I think, sometimes in hip hop or whatever, you've seen like Eminem dissing like singers, pop stars and stuff like that, Michael Jackson and stuff without necessarily getting a rebuttal. I think he had like more of a comedic tone to a lot of that stuff. He was dissing like all the boy bands and stuff. But this, like you said, it just sounds like he's really hurt. Man, and I don't know whether it's like, I don't know if it's really like rooted in some sort of issue that they have with one another. I guess we'll probably never, get that information. But from the outside looking in, it just looks like why are you talking about a person that is like, he's a good guy? He
seems that way. Yeah. Well, look, I don't know Russell Wilson. He could be a condescending dickhead behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but he hasn't displayed that. So I'm only going off what he's shown. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you, Future gonna have another song about him.
Yeah,
like Russell Wilson. Man, this nigga tripping, sipping on Percocet, make it lead. Coming that summer and run the league. Goddamn, understand time on the motherfucking button on the grind. Try to be wrong with my son. Man, that nigga ain't even having fun. Got a goddamn piece of motherfucking down. Hey. That's totally what Future would say as a rebuttal.
Yeah, I will say though that line is not that great. He said, "What he said, I'm in the field." F. Russell Wilson.
It didn't even rhyme.
It just seemed like he was reaching a little bit too.
Yeah,
it's better Russell Wilson lines out there.
He like, man, first of all, man, fuck Russell Wilson. He around my son. You ain't my friend. You ain't never been my friend. You want to act like you a Christian and everything. You call me a nigger with an R, with a hard R, because you half white. So you think you get away with calling me the N-word? Tell them people what you told me last year. Tell me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Russell Wilson really did that though? Called him like the N-word with the hard R at the end?
You know what could potentially happen? Imagine, I don't know where the Super Bowls are going to take place over the next few years. Russell is still relatively young as far as a quarterback is concerned. He's still got some years to play. What if they do like this? Super Bowls in Atlanta, they get like a collective, kind of like they did with Dr. Dre, where he brought out everybody. You could get like, I don't know, like a Jermaine Dupri or something, a Usher or something in Atlanta, and then they bring out all the Migos, and then they bring out I don't know, all the Atlanta rappers, Killer Mike and a bunch of other people, and they bring out Future, and then the Broncos are playing, like the Saints or something like that. Like
the Broncos is playing the Falcons.
I mean, yeah, ideally, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the Super Bowl being in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no way Russell coming to my city winning no game. We don't want that nigga over here winning no games right now. Ain't no way that nigga gonna come over here doing that. And he gonna do it with my son. Ain't nobody doing that.
You know, the crazy part is there's some players on the Broncos that are fans of Future.
100%.
And I wonder, like, do they get to play the music, at least on the way up? They wouldn't play it in the locker room, but at
jump man, always in and something.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That album with people forget about that album with Drake and Future. That was a fucking classic album.
I like that stare, like diamond, diamonds on me dancing. Yeah.
Diamond, that shit was hard.
Yeah, that's some dope songs.
That was hard. People forget it was a time where Drake was just dropping straight heat. Because before that album, he had If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and that shit was crazy. And then literally the next year, he dropped that fucking joint album.
Yeah, Drake had a
serious run.
He had a 3-peat going on, like Jordan or something.
Scorpion was after that one. Mm-hmm. Like he was like, and people don't appreciate that. Like if to drop 3 hot ass albums back to back to back.
Yeah, that takes a lot of work.
That's insane. He didn't have a few duds, but I appreciate Drake. Y'all be like, I don't want to hear Drake singing. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, old school Drake, that fucking 2008-9 best I ever had Drake. That was a whole experience in itself, man.
Yeah,
when that shit first dropped, and when you was like up on Drake, like when it first popped off, because Keith's brother Desmond, my best friend, he put me on Drake. Like, hey, this dude's gonna be the next dude. This dude is dope. And then I dug into like his whole little catalog. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, you could definitely get pull women just off being a Drake fan, like just sharing music. Like,
back then,
you'd be like, "Hey, you heard this song?" And I'm like, "No." And then they mess around and fall in love with the song, and y'all got something to bond over. And then
Drake's style was a little different back then, but you know, you get older, he's like he has some what was it? Oh, he had a song with Jeezy, Unforgettable. Mm-hmm. Remember that song? Mm-hmm. 'Cause I'm trying to be unforgettable. And all my fucking haters eat your motherfucking heart out. It's drizzy. Yeah. That shit was different.
Yeah. He had his own like his own little flow.
Bro, I was listening to that album the other day, and I was like, this shit aged so good. Yeah. Remember that one? Let me know. That shit went off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But I will say, as far as hip hop, Future is probably one of the most original artists of all time because he changed the flow, the way people rap.
Yeah.
Because when he came out with that style, and like in 2014 is when he had a mixtape called Monster, and he started rapping like that, and he's like, "Fuck all that attitude, fuck all the gratitude, but all my bitch relative," and he was doing that, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you start hearing other artists rapping like that.
Flow, huh?
Like Future was the first one doing that.
Even people not from Atlanta.
Yeah.
That flow, yeah.
But then if they whack, it don't work.
Yeah.
Like that's a super original flow. But yeah, man. Not too much else to say about Future, man. I just hope you can let it go one day, brother.
Future, leave Russell Wilson alone, man.
Leave him alone, man. Hey, look here. At the end of the day, I don't need no grown man raising my son. I can do that myself. I'm gonna give him all the Percocet he need, all the Molly he need. I'm all the drugs, all the fentanyl. I got everything at the house. And then she's like, Future, you can't give your son drugs. Like, that's the only way he gonna learn how to be out of man. He can't be no band around no Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson can't throw no touchdown. Why you gonna teach my son how to not throw a touchdown? At least I can teach my son how to be on the block, how to move a pack. This nigga can't take a sack. I can move a pack. You're like, okay, Russell. All right.
That's funny, man.
All right. I got to know, man. Do you guys want more Future impressions in the future?
Leave it down in the comments below.
Yeah, leave it down in the comments, man. If you need more Future, I will do a whole segment. I thought about doing like a skit of Future and Russell Wilson going back and forth.
You should, man.
Yeah, it'll be just like, you're like, look here, you bitch ass nigga. You stay away from my son.
You should do like a little voicemail or something.
Oh, I think I sent one to Desmond the other day, but it'd be like, hey man, look here, you already know who this is. I seen you posting pictures of my son the other day. Like you didn't ask me for no permission. I know I was high on Percocets and Molly, but you ain't no reason you gonna go behind my back and post my fucking son. Forget what that bitch told you. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you right now. And then he just responds, hey man, I just want to let you know that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and he died for our sins. Regardless of how you feel about me, I just want to let you know, brother, that I love you, okay? I love you, and I love you with the bottom of my heart. Yeah. It's like, man, don't play me with that bullshit, man. You don't love me, nigga. You ain't my motherfucking friend.
In John 3:16, it said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and you, God loves you, son. God loves you, Future.
And he loves you so much that he gave me your son.
Oh, damn. God gave me your only begotten son. That's crazy.
That'd be crazy. But then he'll do, you know what's funny? As I feel like Russell Wilson might be one of those passive aggressive type dudes. And then like later on his real emotions will come out. Like he'll be having sex with Sierra, be like, huh? Is that better than Future? Is that better?
God. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Oh, dang. Oh, man. Shout out to those parties involved.
That's crazy.
We'll go ahead and move on. I feel like this story is going to develop.
Russell Wilson don't seem like a type of person that generally acknowledges.
I think Sierra's going to be the one that says something.
Yeah.
In a subliminal way. Probably go to social media and say something like, I find it funny how people can't let things go, but you just got to give it to God or something like that. And that's how they'll respond.
With a family picture.
My dad said something before he passed that made me really think about Russell Wilson. My dad said, you know what? I could see that dude like running for president after he retires. And I was like, fuck, that's true. You got to think about Russell Wilson. He's done a lot of humanitarian stuff. He's really a God, like he's really a God-fearing man. Yeah. He's a family guy. He's very like conservative in his values.
Where's he from? Is he from Wisconsin?
I'm not sure where he's from.
He went to like, I thought he went to, I forgot what school he went to.
If it might have been Wisconsin, because it definitely wasn't Nebraska. It might have been Wisconsin. Or it might have been, it wasn't Rutgers. Where did he go? He went to one of those schools with red and white jerseys. Let me double check right now.
Yeah.
Let me check right now.
I think he was a grad transfer too.
Really?
Yeah, I think he graduated and then transferred his last year in college.
Russell Wilson. He went to NC State, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to NC State.
Okay. Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, he transferred from NC State. Yeah, so he graduated and then transferred to Wisconsin.
Oh, I see it. NC State and then Wisconsin 2011.
Yeah.
Fucking bug on me. God damn.
You killed it?
No, it must have got away.
This one is kind of fast.
Yeah, this is a young fly. When them flies get older and shit, you could just hit them. Bam.
Yeah. Russell Wilson.
All right, let's go ahead and move on, man. This motherfucking bug. All right, switching gears. Top boxing promoter rips influencer flashes crowd after win. Okay, so basically there was an influencer that was boxing, and she just after the fight she just pulled her tits out. Right, and this is happening more. This is being a frequent thing. There's a lot of women fighters that are being very inappropriate, and it's been happening a lot. There was a bare knuckle fighter pulled her tits out right after she won. Then it was a fighter literally. Like probably almost basically a day ago after she won, and Daniel Cormier, who's a married man, like the girl was twerking, and then she turned towards him and started twerking towards Daniel Cormier, which is very inappropriate, right? So this shit is happening a lot. Top boxing promoter rips moment influencer flashes crowd after win. It says Eddie Hearn, one of the top boxing promoters in the sport, who has put together fights for Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, Katie Taylor, ripped one of the moments from a card Saturday night that featured OnlyFans models and social media influencers. In one of the bouts,
I didn't know there wasn't real boxers.
But still, man, there's people there. Bouts. Daniela Hemsley, who took Alexandra Daniel, known on social media as Mrs. Danelka, in promotions influencer tournament. Both women boast thousands of followers across various social media platforms. Hemsley won the bout, unanimous decision. She celebrated with her team and at one point flashed the audience and live TV camera. And then Hearn was asked about the moment. And he says, I think if I start preaching, people will just moan at me anyways. But you always ask for my opinion. My opinion is I hate it. I hate it. We've worked so hard for women in boxing to be respected for their ability, for their merits, for their hard work. One thing we must understand is that ain't boxing, and that needs to be put and that needs to be pushed. Hearn said, all that stuff, misfits, kingpins, it needs to be booted so far away from the professional boxing, and we really need to disassociate ourselves with what it is. I will say this, right? Inappropriate is inappropriate, whether it's men or women. I just don't think women get held accountable for it. I think that women's bodies have been sexualized so much, and nudity and just lewd behavior has been rewarded when women do it. If you're a guy, how do I put this? What would be a comparable? You know how women say like, oh my God, like, what do you call it? Unsolicited dick pics are disgusting. Like, don't send that stuff to my inbox. That's gross. And it's like, I'm not here to like, what do you call it? I'm not here to okay dick pics at all, right? It's unsolicited, but it's also unsolicited when you go to a fight where there's like a wide spectrum of people at that fight, and you pull your tits out, and there's probably like an 11-year-old kid in the audience.
Yeah,
that's also very inappropriate. I would say the twerking and ass shaking on a married man. Like Daniel Cormier didn't ask for Ailina Perez. She was like twerking, and it's like whatever, man. But then she turned towards him and started twerking, and it's like, come on, man, don't do that shit.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I like thought about was like one Eddie Hearn. He's a boxing promoter. I think I don't know if he owns that platform, DAZN, or like what his business dealings is with that. But Canelo was signed to there for a while, and he just recently signed with the PBC, so he's not on that platform anymore. But this is a real boxing platform. Like, people like that are real boxing fans go to this app to watch boxing, and you kind of are complicit in having OnlyFans models, boxing on these real cards. So, I mean, I get that it is definitely inappropriate, especially, when it's unsolicited. And like you said, if you got, if you're a boxing fan and you go to the fights with your son who may be 8 years old or something, he just loves the sport of boxing, and then you just got random titties flopping everywhere. Like I don't think that's okay. But also like, it's almost like the Source Awards back in the day. Yeah. It's like you got all these rappers, they beefing, and there's a bunch of niggas around, there's a bunch of gang members around. Like, what do you expect to happen? Yeah. The same thing with this is like you got OnlyFans models, that they primary goal is to promote attention. What they got going on. Yeah. A lot of times they be getting on social media and promoting their OnlyFans in whatever way, shape, or form. So this was just an opportunity for her to, get her name out there a little bit more. Yeah. So you can't even really be mad. She just playing the game. I would be more so like, come on, Eddie Hearn. Like, you should have known something like this will happen when you got OnlyFans.
That's true. You don't have actual fighters, but I think it's a different when you actually have female fighters doing inappropriate shit. There was I think a comparable action would be if a male fighter was being interviewed by a female reporter and he started doing humping motions like towards her, like humping motions towards her. Back in the day, Rampage used to do this shit before it got more politically correct, and he would be canceled for the shit he used to do. Because Rampage Jackson used to fucking go and like grab a reporter and be humping her while she was asking her questions, and she would just be like giggling, laughing, but it would be looking like she was like awkward about it. Yeah. So you could definitely not do that shit, and that shit was very inappropriate. I know he's not dumb enough to ever try that shit now. Humping reporters.
Yeah, it's a different day and age. The crazy part is like, as much as like the men's behavior has been corrected, I feel like the women's behavior is getting more out there.
It's getting more out there. It's getting more out there. And you got to think about it like this. It's weird. And then if you say something about it, they'll be like, oh my God, so you're just trying to tell women that they should behave? That is ridiculous. And it's like, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that twerking shit is corny when you do it off the internet. Like on the internet, twerking looks perfectly fine to people. They like, what's the big deal? Okay. Go out to a grocery store and start twerking and look at how crazy people look at you. If you in the frozen food section shaking your ass, they're like, what the fuck is she doing? Yeah. I'm trying to get some Eggo waffles. And this dumb hoe is in the middle twerking. I'm trying to get my shit. What's going on? Yeah. It just doesn't look right in the real world. I just think we've appropriated so much behavior that people just think is normal. You know what I'm saying? And I think too, and this is kind of a joke, but it's the truth. Any type of titties just being ripped out, because there was a time, and I don't want to like I don't want to make this a comparable. There was a situation where I felt awkward because there was someone in the room that just started randomly breastfeeding one day. And if I just turned my head and like walked away, we were all in there and we all kind of felt it.
Yeah.
But we just got out of the way.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever breasts come around, it's kind of an awkward situation.
Yeah.
You know that? Yeah. You were there that day, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and you was just like I was.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's just, you just, like you say, you get put into those awkward situations and you don't really know what to do.
I'm sorry. It's just, to me, it's difficult. Like if I'm having a conversation and then someone just starts trying to breastfeed right in front of me, I just like, oh no, I can't look at this. I would just turn my head and then hope that it was over.
Yeah, it's weird because like, I think that we have gotten to a space where, how should I say this? Because women have felt like they've been like oppressed for so long and, you know, have been told what to do by men for so long and told what to do by society for so long, there's been like pushback in areas like that don't necessarily need like the pushback. You know, I think no one, I would say like in terms of like breastfeeding, like no one is going to like chastise you for feeding your child when the baby is hungry. I think that most people is just like, can we do it in a way where like everybody is comfortable?
It's more discreet.
You know what I mean? Like if a man has to use the bathroom, it's indecent exposure to just 100%. Go out and, you know, if I was at the club or whatever and I just whipped my penis out and was peeing.
Oh, you get arrested.
Yeah, so I think that that's why there's like bathrooms for that, and not to say a woman needs to leave the room, but you know, just do it in a way where we ain't seeing like we don't need to see
they get like a big towel. They get like a towel or something over there. But it's just to me, dog. I'm just being 100. Like they said, well, you shouldn't be sexualizing breasts, and it's like, I'm sorry, but as a man, I don't look at breasts and say they're just objects. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I think most times when we're engaging in breasts, we're like either looking at them in a sexual way or we're actually having sex.
Yeah, so people be trying to like recondition us after like millions of years. You know what I mean? Like it's too late for all that. You just gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like it's like we as men, we can never just like pull our pants down and walk around and be like, it's just my penis. What's the big deal?
There's going to be a guy, mark my words, there's going to be a guy he's going to get tired of seeing like the Janelle Monáes and Danielle Hemsleys and all these girls pulling their titties out. He's just going to start whipping his dick out. And he's going to be like, hey, they doing it, so why can't I do it?
He'll be arrested. He'll definitely be arrested.
Yeah.
It'll be bad. Either way. They'll be like, oh, my God, arrest that guy. Yeah. As soon as you pull your pants down, you're going to fucking jail.
Did you imagine like it'd be dudes on OnlyFans too? So the guy on there, he just finished his celebrity boxing match and just whip his piece out.
That'd be ridiculous. It'd be some fucking porn star like, arrest him, his cock is huge. Get him out of here.
We need an extra set of handcuffs.
Arrest his cock. Put some handcuffs on him. Yeah, man, that's insane, man. Yeah, I just ultimately, it's not a whole lot to say here. I just think that we've appropriated it so much, and so many men that don't have self-control have created these conditions because men go to places like strip clubs or they go to Hooters or they buy OnlyFans, and whenever women do this, they don't think, they know like, hey, I can have my tits out. It's not a big deal. No one's going to be mad at me. And it's because men have created that landscape. So I could only say so much about women without holding men accountable. Because if men were mature enough, they wouldn't be pandering to women so much to show titties. Like, that's why, like, even going to a place like Hooters, I didn't care much for it because, I went there to watch the game a few times, but
it goes both ways though, because I think that, like you said, there's the men that sexualize women, like, you know, the people that like to go to the Hooters and the strip clubs and stuff like that. And then also there's a version of women that are just trying to rebel because they feel like, there's like a feminism aspect to having their titties out, and there's like a freedom to having your titties out and stuff like that. So
I think that women are lying to themselves when they say that, though. And here's why. We have never suppressed like a woman's right to be naked. We never said you need to wear.
Women are naked, right?
Huh?
I said I think we like it when they naked. Right?
All right, so they're feeding right into the patriarchy. The system where it's like I could fuck whoever I want, as many men as I want. We're like, cool, give me some pussy.
Yeah, I think
that's the shit that's hilarious. Like, you think that we want to stop you from fucking? We want to fuck you. So if a man is saying, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be fucking all these dudes.
You're right.
And then women are like, you don't tell me what to do. I'm sexually liberated. It's like, okay, then give me some pussy. That's fine.
I have to hear the source. One thing, I listen to Joe Budden's podcast a lot, and some of his guests will say like very general statements. Like they'll say like, Ish will say like, yeah, I know a dude that used to like back in the day he used to do such and such, and Joe would be like, do you have a source or do you have? But I say that to say when these women are talking about like the guys that are like calling them sluts or whatever the case may be, like we got to start seeing these tweets. Pull up the evidence to support what you're saying.
There's some dudes that definitely be doing that shit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the one random robot on Twitter is causing you to sleep with everybody in Bakersfield.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Not
like,
at all.
The one random
you calling me a slut? I'll show you slut.
The one random politician in freaking Virginia is causing you to have your titties out.
Yeah, that's crazy. There was a protest that they allowed on TikTok, and it was a bunch of naked women. I'm talking about all their tops are off. There's probably about over 100 women with their tops off, and it was on TikTok, and it was just titties out. And that's I'm thinking, crazy. Like, what are you protesting?
They promoting OnlyFans.
I don't know, bro, but they was all out there like holding signs, just jumping up and down. Titties are out, and I'm just like, I don't understand. I think that when you feed into the patriarchy, you feed into the system that you complain about. Because you're naked. Now you're just giving people a reason to objectify you. Like if it's literally no different than me pulling my penis out and walking down there, and I'm like, why are you looking at me? What's your problem? And it's like, dude, your fucking cock is out, you idiot.
You know what that's like? That's like, they used to have like the Albertsons. They used to have the workers used to strike.
Yeah. The picketers.
They would stand in front of the store and try to prevent you from going in there. That's like those workers standing in front of that store and striking, and then when they get hungry on lunchtime, they walk in there and get some potato wedges and some chicken. Yeah, and then come back out and protest again. It's like you're feeding into the thing that you're trying to.
From a literal sense, you're feeding.
Yeah, yourself. Exactly.
It's like don't shop here. Don't shop here.
Yeah, like stop telling women what to wear, and then you just flashing their titties. I'm like, dang, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's hilarious. A lot of people don't realize how much they're making. They're making a point for someone else, and it's like, okay, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And one thing I don't like, I think there's a lot of men that are just kind of like rolling with a lot of this stuff just because I don't know what it is. I think they don't be wanting to argue, or they, I don't know if they're pandering or what it is. But a lot of men don't be pushing back on a lot of this stuff nowadays.
It's because they don't have a standard for themselves and they don't have integrity. My thing is like I mentioned before, I would never tell women what to wear because I don't have the right to do that. However, I feel like that shouldn't even be a conversation. If we understand, if we have a conversation, or you understand the energy that I'm working with, and I explain through different scenarios of, what I really don't find appropriate, what I do. And then I also, first of all, if you meet a woman where she is in life, everything she does will tell you who she is. You don't have to get a girl that's half naked and try to convert her into being this woman that doesn't show her body, because that's not right. That's like you're trying to change a woman, and that's wrong. But, I feel like it's better to be with a woman that's not with her titties halfway hanging out every weekend, only because, like we've mentioned, like that's just a certain energy that it's bringing in. Yeah, it's no different than, like, I remember I was with my trainee, because I was training somebody last week, and some dude in a lifted truck, super, like it was like an illegal lift kit. It had to be like a freaking 12-inch lift kit or something, right? Big old tires, and he had this white light that was beaming underneath it. You ever seen those pulsating lights underneath the car? I was like, yo, that's the male version of a BBL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the attention you asking for, bro. You gotta want attention when you doing that. That's just extra. So people just be doing extra, thinking that you dumb, but you're just getting all this attention.
Yeah, that's all it is. I think overall we just need more concerted protests. You know, I don't know if having your titties out on TikTok is a great protest. I don't know if it was even like some. I think there was. Maybe protesting Bill Cosby or something like that.
If you protesting Bill Cosby with your fucking tits out, that's even that's worse. He's like frazzles nazzles, baby, frazzles nazzles,
big old titties
and
rub them in my face on all the pudding.
It's a Jello swirl, baby, Jello.
I think it's crazy.
Pudding nipples.
Pudding nipples. Cliff Huxtable.
Oh man, motherfucker turning to Fat Albert. Like, the titties, hey. Yeah, Bill is a fool.
But yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is like, just going back to the original point. I think that we have to start kind of seeing the future a little bit. Yeah. Like, no pun intended. But when you look at if you got, it's like for us, like if we randomly had like a OnlyFans guest on our podcast and we expected to have like a certain type of conversation and she all of a sudden just starts working on here, we cannot act like we surprised. Right. Like this is what she does for a living.
Yeah, because there's been someone that I thought about having a conversation with on this platform. Yeah. And I kind of been pushing back on it because I just been paying attention to some of the content. I'm like, I don't know if that's the most reliable conversation to have. Yeah. Yeah, just because it may be towards the beginning of this podcast, but like we've been in it for over 5 years now. So it's like, I don't know about that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what.
We've been real selective with the guests too.
Yeah. 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 So she was, I won't say anything further, but I was looking at possibly getting an interview with a young lady who is in adult film. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I just been, not really pressing forward with that. Yeah. Because the thing about it, you got to take some time before you have people on to kind of check their temperature. Because you don't want to be like having a serious conversation and you're like, yeah. So I think like, where did you invest your time? Well, I love sucking cock. Like, all right. This is not a productive conversation. It's not very productive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Don't know about that one. Yeah, there's that.
You'd be like, so who's your favorite? He's like, man, back in the day, my favorite wrestler was The Rock. She'd be like, what'd you say about cock?
You're like, oh my God, how am I gonna get out of this one? No, it'd be like, so exactly, what's your origin story? Where did it all start? And all of a sudden you turn, it's like, how did he get in here? What the fuck? Get him out. Get that guy out of here. How did he get in here?
She pulling out dildos and all kind of stuff.
He's like, man, she is gagging on the truckers my pocket. You can't have this, man. This is not the standard that we set every week. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears. Switching gears. I was talking to Keith about this earlier. We have to stop affirming people's delusions. Yeah. And what I mean by that is this. Sometimes we can lie to people without telling them a word. Like, we don't literally have to lie to people. And let me explain. We've all got family or cousins or friends or anybody. And a lot of times there's some people that are not very self-aware. There could be a dude that's like, man, these women ain't shit. All they want to do is do this. It's ridiculous. It don't matter if they black, white, whatever. They all just hoes and blah, 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 blah. And he's saying this, right? But truth be told, you really want to tell this guy, hey, man, you're a fuck up. You're a fuck up. You're loud and you're kind of a lousy human being. And that's what you attract. And you don't see that you do that. Right. But instead of telling this guy in kind of even in a constructive way that you are the problem, right? We say shit like, hey, man, I feel you, bro. It's tough out here, bro. It's hard out here, or whatever the case. Stop doing that because you're affirming that person's delusion and they will never think they're the problem because they have you as a fucking friend. If somebody's like, man, like I'm just depressed, and I'm overweight, whatever, but it's all good. I just be depressed or whatever. And the person's constantly depressed, and they're going through like this loop of, all girls don't like me, or I'm just, I'm hella mad or whatever it is. But you'll just be like, it's all good, man. You're gonna find a lady who loves you for you, bro, and just hang in there. But I mean, nobody's telling this motherfucker to better himself. Mm-hmm. No one's going to tell him that he's 400 pounds. Mm-hmm. No one's going to fucking tell him. Who's going to tell him?
Yeah.
Somebody has to tell this guy that it's not normal to be 450 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it's not that you're shaming the person. It's just that when you allow people to go down this freaking habitual process that they've been going through, they're just going to believe the bullshit because you are literally affirming it.
Yeah.
And that ain't it, man. You got to tell, like, look, fellas, you need to tell your homeboy or a friend or a family member, man, you're not productive. You're being lousy. Ladies, you need to tell your friend they're not getting good men because they a hoe, right? You a hoe and you choose sorry motherfuckers. And you got babies, daddies that ain't no good because you choose people like that. I hate to say it, but we need to start being more honest. I'm not saying be that blunt, but we all know what we really want to tell these motherfuckers. We know that. We really want to tell them that, but we don't want to offend them.
Yeah.
So you gotta stop being so afraid to offend people sometime. And a lot of times when you're very blunt with people and you're very direct with them, it will come off as an attack to a person who does not want to hear the truth about themselves. Anyway, so you might as well say it anyways. Fuck it.
Yeah. No, I think to me that's love, right? Because
right.
I think a lot of people have relationships where it's just like pillows. You know what I mean? Man. Like I feel like if you don't have people around you that are just just keep it real with you, or just give you perspective that's not necessarily like always the validating some nonsense. I think that's like I think most people have relationships like that, but that's not conducive to you growing as a person. Sometimes you need somebody to tell you like, hey man, you need to get here on time, or hey, you need to, you said you were going to do this, but you didn't do it, or whatever. Like you need people like that in your life, because if you are surrounded by people that just validate your feelings all the time, then I just feel like you're not gonna grow. And it's comfortable. It's amazing to be around people that's like always like listening to you, and every time you come to them with some sort of like problem or issue or venting, like y'all just have this powwow, and you guys just hear each other, and you complaining about work and she complaining about work, and then or he or whatever, and then y'all just going back and forth complaining and gossiping, man, for like a whole hour. Like that's cool. That feels really good, but I think it's more conducive for like our growth as humans to be like, hey man, like have you ever thought about like not complaining about work? Like, it's I understand that you don't like that job, but you complaining about it is not gonna make it any better.
Yeah.
And they might be like, man, what you know about, this job is terrible, blah, blah, blah. But like when they, like we me and Eddie were talking about it, sometimes when you hear that harsh reality and you sit with your thoughts, like you might come back 2 days later and be like, yo, you was right, bro. Like, I mean, Eddie told me some stuff one time. He told me like I was supposed to take some pictures of hats for him. Oh yeah. And this was some years ago, and I was like, I didn't do it on time. I actually didn't do it at all. And I just, in my mind, I assumed that he understood that I was busy. But it taught me a valuable lesson that, one, like, don't give your word to something that you're not going to do. Because what I used to do is just volunteer myself for a bunch of stuff and then say like, hey, I would, finish it by X, Y, and Z. And then when that day came, I just didn't do it. 100%. And I didn't even acknowledge that I didn't do it. And, Eddie just told me like, hey, like, it's cool, but moving forward, when you operating your business like this, like that just don't fly. Like you gotta be straight with people. And and even in that situation, I had ran into some more issues with other people that I was working with, other clients that I was working with, and not getting them stuff on time. And I really had to develop my relationship with when I'm going to give people the service that they paid for.
Yeah, because from the outside looking in, people just look at that as low integrity. They don't. Whenever you sign up for the service, or you say, "Hey, I could provide this service," they care about the service. They don't care about anything else. They're not like, "Oh, well, I know. Oh, well, I had to pick my daughter up, and I had to go here and go there."
Yeah,
they're like, "Okay,
that.
that's fine and dandy, but I paid for a service, and it's still not here."
Yeah.
So I think that when you at least give people an estimated time that's going to be done, or, tell them, hey, I can do this and this, but I can't do this, and just set the expectations, right?
But even with that, most people would be like, yeah, bro, like, I get it, man. I was busy, too. And people was bugging me for a music video, or people was bugging me for pictures. And then y'all just having this conversation about like clients versus actually having a conversation about what you can do to make that thing better. Because actually what they're asking for, what you're asking for, is nothing wrong with it. That's what you promised that you would give this person. It's just, it's kind of just developing that relationship with your
seen
word.
something earlier. There's a show on Netflix. I think it's called Quarterback. And it's got like, it's got freaking Kirk Cousins
and Patrick
Mahomes and fucking Marcus Mariota. And there was a scene in there with freaking Kirk Cousins where he was getting hit a lot. He was the most hit quarterback last year. And Adam Thielen was giving him a look. Because sometimes your teammates will be like, hey, what are we looking for? You watching nickel? What about nickel? And then I guess he was hurting a little bit. And he's like, I don't know. All right, I don't know. And he kind of brushed him off, right? And I know you're in pain, but it is your job to be able to be in pain and operate the team, and also be able to multitask and hear that constructive criticism from your wide receiver. And then his offensive coordinator was saying something too, and he's like, yeah, okay, all right. And
what? Sorry to cut you off. I do want you to finish your point. But when you actually like think about it, your leg hurting has nothing to do with your ears. So that conversation, your leg can still be hurting, and you can still hear what the receiver and the offensive coordinator has to say, and you can still respond to them. Because your mouth ain't hurt, your ears ain't hurt, your brain ain't hurt.
Yeah, but the thing about it is your brain does send, the transmitters, the pain transmitters. You're literally processing pain and processing thoughts. So it can, I guess, mitigate or make it harder. Bro. It's an excuse, but it's the truth. You do have pain receptors. Yeah. So when you break your fingers and shit, you like, God damn, I broke 4 fingers in one play. Fuck. And then your wide receiver's like, hey, what about nickel? What about nickel? And you like, nickel, my hands broke.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you have to be able to mold it. So basically what I'm saying is this, is he stated, like, after that scene that went on, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, I was just in pain, and I wasn't hearing anybody, I wasn't processing anything, I was just trying to do my job. And I thought about it, you can't do your job unless you can multitask and do everything that is accompanied by it.
Yeah, it's all together. Yeah, that's why I say that, like, because we seen Kobe Bryant tear his Achilles
and go back on the fucking court,
swish 2 free throws.
Yeah, it's just you built for it or you not. And there was a time where he didn't even listen to his head coach. They got to get Kirk Cousins the fuck out of there. From what I've been seeing on this thing showed
bad habits.
They got to get Kirk Cousins the fuck out of Minnesota. That dude stinks. He's not gonna win no Super Bowl there. He's just not. He ain't built for it.
Yeah, but you just got. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I do want to watch it now that you said that. But I would imagine, the way Patrick Mahomes is built, obviously like a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I mean, he was playing with a dang near one leg.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and processing information at the highest level.
Yeah,
so
I remember when he got into it with Max Crosby. He's like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here all fucking night, man. And then I was watching it on Netflix. Like, I ain't the fucking one, man. I ain't the fucking one, man. I ain't the fucking one, man. I'm here, homie. I'm here, homie. Keep your hands off me, homie. It was a play because Max Crosby kept fucking with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. After each play, he would tap him or he'd push him in the chest. He's like, all right, dog, the play's over, man. You ain't got to keep hitting me every fucking time. And then Max is like, oh, it's all good. Like, Max is getting in his head. He's like, all right, dude, I get it, bro. Just keep your hands off me, man.
Yeah. He not the one, though.
Nah, he not the one. Because Patrick went off after that.
Yeah. Like, you need to leave him alone.
And then after that, he got in Max's face and they bumped face masks.
Yeah.
And he said, all night, man. It's going to be like that all fucking night, homie. All fucking night, man. Can you imagine Patrick Mahomes having sex? It's like, oh, shit.
That pussy is good, man.
Oh, man. We got to get Andy Reid in here, man. We got to get Andy Reid in here to run these plays.
Drop something for that pussy, man.
Fuck, why is Jackson watching us, man? Why is Jackson Mahomes in here, dude? Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. Patrick's putting up with a lot, man. Fucking Jackson Mahomes. You see that video? Because Jackson Mahomes just got busted for fucking sexually harassing a woman. You seen that?
I didn't see the video, no.
It's a video where he forcibly kissed a woman, and he ended up going to jail for it. And then when Jackson Mahomes was getting out of jail and he was going to get in the car, he had like media following him, and some black dude that was out of nowhere, he was like, you know your ass would be locked up if you was a real black dude.
Oh my God.
That shit had me dying.
That is crazy.
And then it was like a little thing where Jackson was talking. Jackson is definitely gay. I'm not trying to be like fucked up, but he's gay. He's like, why do I have to like, people say I have to like act straight? Like, I'm not gay. I'm like literally not gay. I'm like, nigga, you gay as a mother.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really seen anything.
Jackson Mahomes not gay. He's gay XL. That nigga is gay to the second power. And he probably just, you know, lashing out. Like he probably is like trying to like, the best thing he could do is come out, bro. Just come out. Some people really need to just come out because as long as they in the, like some people so gay that they can't even be in the closet. You ever seen people like that? They be like, right now I'm just trying to find myself. I'm like, well, I think everybody found you, buddy. You might need to go ahead and just let everyone know. Fuck it.
People be it be like certain celebrities that we be having questions about for their whole career.
Yeah.
You'd be like, dang, this dude still ain't come. This person still ain't come out yet.
Ain't nobody came out more professional than Queen Latifah, bro. Because Queen Latifah is like, she's in a relationship too with the woman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah, I think she's that like I guess she has a fiance or everything. I think could be wrong.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is there even a picture of her? Let me see here. Queen Latifah. Let's see. Okay, let's see right here. Yeah, it's her partner right here. However, the Queen Latifah isn't busy working on a set of her hit TV show, blah, blah, blah. Spotted with her longtime partner, Ebony Nichols. The pair even held hands at 2023 AMFR Gala red carpet. Below is everything. She fine as a motherfucker. Her fucking girlfriend?
Yeah.
Girlfriend pretty cool.
What's her name? Ebony Nichols?
Yeah, she pretty cute. See, think about Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is like a... Queen Latifah is, in my opinion, Queen Latifah is sexy, man.
You like her?
I like Queen Latifah, bro. Because she I kind of hard to explain. She's aging really well, too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right here.
She got like a warm spirit, too.
Yeah, and she plays in movies, like she played Adam Sandler's wife in the basketball movie Hustle.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, it was the most random thing, but they did a good job of selling it. Like it was just like an unlikely couple, but it worked.
Shout out to Queen Latifah.
Yeah, shout out to the Queen, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be a real good three-way right there.
This nigga.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've set up enough about that. All right, switching gears. Parents, they beat the shit out of their son for spending $45,000 of their life savings on video games. And here goes the article. Parents beat the shit out of their son for spending $45,000 life savings on the game. Video goes viral. Today's generation is becoming more and more accustomed to playing video games. People of all ages can now play video games on the move. Thanks to the popularity of smartphones and tablets, technology developments have made it possible for game designers to produce more immersive and realistic video games than ever before. Because of this, these games are becoming more appealing to players who want want a more immersive and realistic gaming experience. But these video games also carry a risk of addiction. Some people, particularly youngsters, will go to unexpected lengths on occasion to buy or play a video game. A young boy of 16 years old who plays video games experienced just that. The youngster went to the extreme lengths to play games. As a result, he spent $45,000 on a game, his parents' entire life savings.
God damn.
What exactly happened in the gaming cafe? Here we go. Addiction to the video game can cause people to act bizarrely because he misused their life savings, a total of $45,000 on a game. A 16-year-old young boy was beaten by his parents in a gaming cafe, and a video of the incident went viral. In their rage, the parents chose to beat him in order to teach him a lesson. But when the incident footage went viral, people were enraged. While some individuals think the parents' actions were acceptable, others think they went too far. The young boy may have an issue with video game addiction, which is thought to be motivated him to blow their family savings.
God damn.
I'm gonna say this, okay? I will say this. Normally, there's in no way am I trying to appropriate any form of child abuse, but this nigga needed his ass whooped.
For sure.
Yeah, you need your motherfucking ass whooped. If they would have paid me, for a good price, I'd have punched the son right in his mouth too. I'm like, look here, man, I don't want to go to jail, and everybody got their phones away. All right, just give me $700, and I'll hit him with one hard right.
Oh my gosh.
Hit him with a right.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these kids, I want to punch them anyways.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are assholes, man. I want to get off topic, but some of these kids are a little disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
The next time I get into it with some not even get into it, the next time a teenager out in public disrespects me, I'm going to say, excuse me, young man, when do you turn 18? And he'd be like, I'm already 18. I'm like, all right, what's your lucky day?
Is that a law?
Yeah.
What is it called? What is the law?
The law is, you're fighting a minor.
Oh,
if they're under the age of 18.
Yeah. Okay.
But
because sometimes, we have like certain rule, the reason I asked, because when we think about domestic violence, we have this idea that it's illegal for a man to hit a woman. Mm-hmm. That's not, I don't think true. That's not a law, right? The law is like
it
more so bad. Domestic violence, right? So
100%.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is that a real thing or not?
Well, all those laws go out the window. If I see you trying to break into my house, or I see you trying to break into my car, and I pick you up and slam you, or I punch you, or I throw you against the wall or something, I'm not going to be like, are you 18 so I can fuck you up?
I ain't going to front. I fought some kids before.
That back in
the days. But you was kids trying to fight my little brother.
You was only like fucking like 19 though.
Yeah, I was like 19, so it was chunking them.
Yeah, I remember that you had told. I was crazy.
We was out there fighting these little. My brother was if I was probably like 18, 19. So my brother was probably, like 14, 15, somewhere 14. In there. Yeah. So
I don't know what had happened. They was trying to jump him. I guess it was you and who
else?
It
was a whole thing. But I guess somebody had stole a phone, and then somebody I don't know how it happened, but they came to the house. They came to the apartment with like a bunch of people.
Oh no.
And then they was trying to like. Yeah,
what the age group you think it was?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I would say like initially there was like a group of people that came, and those dudes was probably like closer to my age. It looked like older brothers of like those dudes, and then those dudes ended up leaving, and then the other ones they were all like in high school, high school senior.
Yeah, that's when all that shit goes out the window. Like I would never put hands on a woman ever, but the difference is that let's say I'm somewhere and I'm with my wife and multiple women are trying to come, I'm knocking all of them out. I'm knocking them hoes out. That ain't like you not about to jump.
Eddie going viral, knocking these.
You not about to be hitting on my. If it's fucking 4 women coming at my wife, I'm knocking all of them out. Louisville Slugger.
Yeah, there's this thing, this show Yellowstone, and I might butcher the scene, but basically it's a scene between a brother and a sister, and the sister is just like she's drunk, she's belligerent, and she's like beating on her brother. Just beating her, and she's like egging him on, like, come on, like, do something, be a man, do something, be a man. And then he like punches her, and then he's like, something along the lines of like, yeah, if he says something like, how do you take that for being a man? And she was like, oh, you're pathetic. She was like, a man wouldn't have punched me. A man would have just walked away. And that was kind of like the theme. But that annoyed me so much because it's like,
it's not okay.
You can't just beat up on a man and just expect him not to defend himself. Like, first of all, don't put your hands on nobody. And then we wouldn't even have this conversation. But, I just think like, because what happens is like when you're a writer and you write these scenes like that, that's something that you really believe, right? Because more times than not, like you're writing from your own perspective. So the developers, directors, and the writers of that show think that a man should be get abused and then they should just walk away. And and I don't know, that's just something I thought about when you're punching these hoes out.
we got a weird way of thinking, man. Mm-hmm. We definitely do. But yeah, in the case of this young man, he's definitely got an addiction problem, big time. But I do think there's a lot of irresponsibility from the parents.
The nigga's in a gaming cafe.
Oh yeah, well, you got to understand whenever someone can take advantage of you, they will become extra friendly because they're getting that all profit that they don't have to give that back. Mm-hmm. But also this kid, you got your son that has access to all of your money. Yeah, that's really stupid.
Life savings. I think that
you don't even understand the value of money when you're in high school.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna fuck up a small amount of money, but $45,000, oh man, and that's your life savings. They're fucked.
Yeah, and they got a lot of life to live, and there's no way you can get that back. That the son has spent it. Mm-hmm. I think that part of this too, kind of going back to the Eddie Hearn situation, like we have to be more mindful of our money. Mm-hmm. Like Eddie was. We were just talking earlier. He was saying he has the Rocket Money app, to where it shows you the transactions every week. It shows you the upcoming bills. It shows you how much money you spent over a certain time period. It shows you even like mine alerts me if I have a big transaction. Yeah. Like if I spent $200 on something, it'd be like, it'll send me an email like, hey, you spent this. And obviously if I didn't recognize that transaction, then it's like, yo, we got to do something.
Yeah.
But like,
you better,
even for me, I'm starting to develop more financially healthy habits, like where I get my the money in my account every morning. Like the Bank of America sends me an alert every morning, showing me how much money is in my account. When in my other personal account, it has like it alerts me every time money is deposited and stuff like that, right? So to me, that's what like people that are like financially literate do. They're just mindful of what's going on, but especially with the technology now. So I just don't understand how a person like $40,000 of your money is just gone and you don't know until 40,000 is gone. Like,
that's insane.
Yeah, I just don't like, at a certain point it's your fault. It's different. I had a back in the day, my aunt and my uncle, they had this the like 5-gallon Alhambra little water jug things. They had one of those, and they would just put change in it, and it was filled up to the top with like
that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, change, dollars, a few $100s in there, right?
No, it's more than that.
But what happened was, my cousin was coming to school, and he was taking change out of it, like bit by bit. He was coming to school, and he was just buying like snacks and stuff, and he was offering it to people, and it was going on for like a few days. And, I don't know how much money he took out of there, but you could see the money getting lower, right? And he got in huge trouble for it. But I say that to say, like, they caught him within a few days. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like $40,000 later that he got a whooping for it. They caught him like in a matter of days. So, I just don't see, you don't have an excuse for your son to spend $40,000 and you don't know.
Lifting one of those things full of change is fucking nuts.
I bet.
Oh, that shit's heavy, dude.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the water is heavy, so I know the
change
is way heavier.
The most money I've ever had is in regards to change. It was, oh man, that shit. I think it was over $400.
God damn.
Because what it was, I had a gallon jug, and what I did is I was putting dollars. I put like some dollars in there, but I just started putting all the change that I would use. Like if I spent If I had any ones, I put all my ones in there, and I put all my change, and then I started putting my fives in there.
And like just a water bottle.
In a gallon jug, but I cut the tip of it off so I could fit more change in it. And I just kept doing it, and it's back in 2015. It got slow at work, and I was off of work.
400 in there.
It was over 400. It was 2 different times I went. One time it was like I think it's probably like 400, and then the next time I had like 280.
Yeah.
And
so in that
like,
5-gallon one, it was probably like, like $1,000, $800, $900 in there.
Oh, they more than that. More than that. It'd be over 1,000 something. If you fill that shit up from the bottom and it's mainly quarters.
But I'm saying if a gallon is worth 3, then 4 would be like 12.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Because they're 5-gallon. The jug is 5 gallons.
Yeah, there's somebody probably right now listening. They might have one of those in their house.
Yeah,
I think if you got one, man, and it's filled to the top, there's no point of just keeping it, man. Let's go ahead and cash it in, and maybe you and your wife or whoever, man, go fucking take a trip with that.
I have just a little cup, like it's just like a cup from the theater, like a little movie cup.
I got a box I had at the house.
Yeah,
with a combination on it.
But I have like it's all filled with change, but it's heavy. Like you don't realize how heavy change is. And, like I have some vending machines. So what I was doing initially was I was taking the quarters out of there and throwing them in the machine to give the change back to people. So, yeah. But you can't really like it's cool to save, like if you're intentional with it. But after a while, the money just sitting there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like you get rid of it. But just have a purpose behind it. And my purpose at that time is work had slowed down bad in 2015. I didn't work for almost 2 weeks at one time, and I just fucking turned all that change, and I was like,
"Where'd you take it?"
Damn. I took it to the Coinstar Food Max.
Coinstar be charging though, huh?
It charge you a little bit. They get their cut, but it took me forever because they got that change strainer.
Yeah,
you pour it in there, and it just goes.
Yeah, I think the banks they not trying to do that no more.
Nah, the banks ain't fucking with that no more.
Yeah, they don't be trying to take that change.
Nah, so the Coinstars gets it done. But it was something. I think it was something.
They have it now to where they have bags. I've seen the people because like certain people that have vending machines or like there's certain arcades or whatever. Some people have that, so they have like weighted bags. So if it's like 45 pounds, that's X amount of dollars. So you would just fill up the bag and weigh it, make sure it's 45 pounds, and then you could take it to the thing. And then
really, what?
So just so they're not counting every quarter, like putting it in a machine.
Hey man, all I know is this: if that's what they're doing, saying. And you just give them a bag, man, they're gonna be putting all kinds of fucking bolts and fucking washers.
I'm putting a little bit of sand in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some little bricks, some little welded together little metal pieces and throw them motherfuckers in there.
Yeah,
ain't no way they gonna be just doing that. They gotta count that shit. Yeah, but there's that. Let's go ahead and it's probably more one of the shorter.
But yeah, I mean overall the kids. Just be. I mean, as adults, we just got to be more mindful of that. And there was an excuse like, well, these are older people, and technology is different. But the kid is 16, so the kid is relatively. You can have a 16-year-old son. You know what 100%. I mean? So it's like you still was in in an era where you pretty up on technology and 100%. Stuff like that. So and there's not really. It'd be different if it's like somebody my mom's age where she just kind of like not really tech savvy.
I think that if I had a kid right now, they would 100% like be a junior or senior in high school minimum.
Yeah,
minimum. Actually, they'd probably be out of high school. It depends on what I had.
19 years old.
Yeah, if I had a kid at 18 in 2003, they'd be 20 years old right now. But let's say I had one in 05 or some shit, they'd probably be like a senior right now.
Yeah, so. I don't know. They don't got no excuse, dog.
We would be, I think that my generation, your generation will be we're more like our kids than our parents were like us. Our parents came from a totally technologically different background.
That was like an exponential growth in technology between
but with us, like we seen like the first smartphones. We seen all the shit that these kids are using now. We got it first. Like we got things in its infancy. Like we had the fucking Sidekick phones. We had the fucking the Google G1 phones,
and not
iPhone.
Not only that, but were on the same apps. Like, Desmond's daughter just turned 14, right? So the kid right here is 16. She 14. That's 2 years apart. They're on the same apps. She don't have like social media like that.
Yeah.
But, just if she had like TikTok or whatever, her dad on TikTok, she on TikTok. You know what I mean? So that just to show you like relatively like, there's not really an excuse for your son to spend 40 racks and you don't even know.
I think the parents looked like they were a little older too, though. Mm-hmm. So I think they could have been out the loop, but damn, like how out of the loop are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with the IT guy yesterday. He was like 51, but he'd been doing IT since the 90s.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, that's dope, man. So it's like, I wonder how much you seen technology change from probably like 80s. Yeah. I think he said he was doing it since like 89 or some shit like that, 88.
I will say though, one of my guys, his son actually did that. Like he bought, I think he bought some game, but he knew immediately though. Like he was still mad and there was nothing he could do about it, but he knew immediately that his son bought it and he gave his son a whooping for sure. But like, yeah. So I don't know. It's just like this is just podcast conversation. These niggas tripping.
Yeah, I think it's two people that's gonna push the line big time, and that's the children and pets. Mm-hmm. The dogs fucking will push the line on your ass because they'll be like cool for a minute, but sometimes dogs get real disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And they don't be want to fucking listen at all.
Yeah.
You be like, man, get out of here. They be just like, be like, no, man, get off of me, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And the people that got dogs that are very poorly trained and like the dog's doing shit and you're telling them like, hey, man, your dog is over here doing this. And they're like, oh, he's fine. He just really likes you.
There was a tweet from PETA that says something along the lines of like, if your dog still has his balls, like, what are you doing, bro? And I was like,
what?
And I think it was legit. Like, it didn't look like a screenshot. It looked like somebody like just responded to it. And I was like, that's kind of weird. That's a weird thing to say because like,
it's like mutilation.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were for animals.
Yeah, that's what I didn't really understand it. Like,
yeah, we got our balls. So if you like to compare animals and humans all the time, you're not asking for us to cut our balls off.
Exactly. And I mean, there's, dogs that are allegedly dogs that aren't neutered are, more likely to get hit by cars and all this other stuff. But at the same time, like, it's still like there's a lot of dogs out here where their life just ends.
Yeah,
like their life, there's no generations after them. They just here for their 12 years and then they check out. Dogs
is different. It's just, dogs and humans, we got the same balls, bro.
Just be swinging, huh?
Same balls, bro. One time I seen a pit bull. I was like, "Oh, that's me right there."
Wait a minute, that's crazy. That is crazy. Now, dogs' balls is a little bit smoother.
What do you mean?
They just a little smoother. Like human balls be a little wrinkly.
You got them Bill Cosby balls. My balls frail. They're just really frail balls. I don't know what it is. I drug dogs too. I drug women dogs.
Yeah.
Fucking Bill Cosby is on a rampage, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. We got to wrap it up with this next one. Where we at, man?
113.
Yeah, we'll finish this one off here.
All
right. Switching gears. Amazing 90-year-old retail worker finally retires from her job at Dillard's after 74 years, having never missed a single day of work. Let me read the article. All right. A 90-year-old woman is retired from her retail job, having never missed a day of work for the past 74 years. Melba Mebane celebrated her retirement after a long career at Dillard's in Tyler, Texas. This month, after a career spanning more than 7 decades, she started working retail giant in 1956 when she was just 17 years old, beginning as an elevator girl before becoming moved to cosmetics department. Now, after an impressive career, the 90-year-old retired, leaving behind a score of colleagues and clients who grew to love her. Let me see here. Okay. The store manager of Dillard's in Tyler, Texas, said Melba touched so many lives. Speaking to Fox News, he said Melba sets the tone for everything, every expectation, every customer service quality that we look for in a luxury experience. She provides all of it to the team. Can you imagine how many people she coached and taught and trained to aspire to be more? He added that it was amazing to think about how many people the 90-year-old touched. James praised her for providing both the customers and the team with life advice. Because of her go-getter and kind personality, Melba quickly formed relationships with everyone. All right. Shout out to her. And at the end, they talked about, they gave her a plaque. And, they have a little going away party. And she had to retire due to her, becoming a little ill. But here's my thing, man. And it's no slight to her. Maybe she got a lot of enjoyment from the job. And also, maybe, when you get older, old people need something to do. They need something, something like recreational or something. Mm-hmm. Because what it is when people get old, they like that fellowship. They like to be around people because if they're not around people, they're at home, they're going to fucking die. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is, man. So shout out to her for, staying productive. But ultimately, this also shows you what a job can do for you. You work there for 74 years, they give you a plaque. You didn't get no going away bonus. You didn't get none of that, at least from what the articles I've read. I haven't heard anything about it. But she also never missed a day. I question that, though. She's 90 years old. She's worked there for 74 years. So the people that started there with her, they died. So she probably telling people she ain't never missed a day. But can't nobody challenge it because they either wasn't born or they already died.
Yeah.
She's fucking 90, bro.
Yeah.
So who knows?
She's been working there since she was a teenager.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I think that she really loves it. I think that there's some people that really love what they do. Mm-hmm. And maybe she just really loves people so much. Mm-hmm. So, but the job is a job. So the job is not going to give her any real opportunity. We know that. Mm-hmm. We talked about comparable stories. The guy that worked at Taco Bell for over 20 years, didn't miss one day. They gave that nigga some coloring pencils. That made me so fucking mad, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody that works at Taco Bell for 20 years, they should deserve $20,000.
Yeah.
I think that should be the that should be the going rate for somebody that has worked at Taco Bell for 20 years straight. They should get $20,000 on their 20th year. Because Taco Bell is not going to have to give anybody money because nobody works there for 20 years.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily would necessarily operate a business that way. But what I will say is that if you do, going back to our last, conversation a couple weeks ago with Anthony Gupton when he was on here, he talked about how he was able to set up his retirement in such a way that he was able to retire at 49, 50 years old.
Yeah.
So, that's there too. I think for this woman, if you worked in, she's officially retired now, and she says she's gonna travel and do some other stuff. She probably, I don't know, she shouldn't be hurting for money. The way that her life is set up, being around for so long, she probably has owned her house for 60 years now. So I don't know. I think
she had a house when it was $37.
Yeah, you can buy a house for $1,500.
She had 2 slaves. And
chill.
Black person walks into Dillard. She's like, "How you doing, young man?" I remember when you cost a lot less money back in my day.
That's crazy.
90 years old, bro. She's only fucking one generation away from slavery. Fuck, man.
Yeah, dang near 100 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I think that it is though the only thing that I would say, because like I said, I don't necessarily know. I feel like when I speak about these situations in terms of people getting paid, I kind of need to experience it. I need to experience what that looks like to run an organization with staff and stuff like that, and the value that a person brings to the company. But I will say that in one of the other articles, I think the one at Fox News, he does mention the fact that she made him a lot of money. So
Oh,
I think going along with that, you know, it would be dope to like give her a little, you know, severance package. But also it doesn't say, you know, if he did or if he didn't. And I do know that some companies do have like, you know, retirement, you know, incentives and stuff like that. And depending on if she never missed a day. So, you know, you have, I think you were at your last job, you had, you call it PTO or whatever. Yeah. And then you got paid out for, you know, not taking those days. So, you know, that's a possibility too. Obviously, it doesn't say anything about it. But if she ain't never took no sick days, she got a fat check.
Yeah, I think at some point it just rolls over with some companies though. Like
sometimes you got to use it, huh?
Yeah, so you got to use it. Sometimes it'll just max out. But yeah, man. Sometimes I see old women like that. I'll be wondering, like, I wonder if she was like a freak back in the day.
This nigga's crazy. What are you talking about?
You just see it like, oh, good Margaret. Oh, good Margaret. Margaret.
That's crazy. That is wild.
It'd be like 1921.
Yeah. Like, has she ever slept with a black man before?
That'd be, you just see the music playing. Some black dude come up. Hi, Miss Margaret. How you doing? I mean, it's no colors in here, but we can meet in the alley.
I remember back in the day, there was a man named Harold. He was a sweet colored man. He made the sweetest love to me. Nigga, Harold was blowing her back out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was the original Lena the Plug.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. If your name is Mildred and you fuck a black dude named Harold, you know y'all both old as fuck.
Some names is just retired now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dick. That's a name that was very popular in the 20s and shit.
Yeah, Dick. You can't name your son Dick.
People
now.
was really naming
Was
the
people's
kid
names
Dick.
really Dick, or was it just Richard?
Dick was short for Richard.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know if anybody's writing Dick on their birth certificate.
It's some names that's super old.
Dick Cheney.
It's some names that's old in every culture. Like I say,
if Dick Cheney had like a porn doppelganger, his name would be Dick Vaney.
Oh, you want some of this veiny cock, huh? Want some of that? Barack, would it be Barack Cock Obama or something like that?
Obama.
Barack Obama. So I heard you been looking for a BBC. I think I can show you something. Come on over and zip my pants down. Zip. Oh my God, Barack, it's so huge. Yep. Yep. All right, go ahead and bend on over. I'll show you what's going on back there.
God bless America.
God bless America. I hope Michelle doesn't find out about this.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Barack. I've done like 3 impressions today, man.
Yeah, man. You getting your impressions in.
Getting them in. I've done Barack Obama. I've done Pat Mahomes and fucking Future. Pat is a trip though. I don't know why. I don't think he realized he talks like that.
Of course not. It's just his voice.
Yeah, it's like,
all right, guys, before we get out there, we got to make sure, like, everybody knows who we are, man. Everybody has to fucking know I'm here. They got to know that I'm here. Every week, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. There was, who was it? Somebody had called into a radio station, and Pat Mahomes' dad was at the radio station. Mm-hmm. And then he started doing an impression of Patrick Mahomes. And he says, let me know if it's good or bad. And fucking he starts doing it, and then Pat Mahomes' dad was like, hey, that was kind of good. I ain't gonna lie.
That's funny.
He's like, yeah, that sound like him, man. And he put the cigar back in his mouth.
You know who randomly has a good Charles Barkley impression? Is Paul George.
Oh, I heard it. My God. Yeah. Yeah, that shit be having me dying.
Yeah.
Because Charles be like, what the issue is, it seems like a lot of guys, when they get on the court and they forget that it's a basketball game, they just throwing themselves on the ground. The last time I checked, Kobe Bryant wasn't doing that. LeBron James just think that his hairline and his game is kind of the same thing. I don't know. And the ladies in San Antonio is ugly. There's some ugly women out there.
Yeah.
They big as a house. Like, what's funny about Charles Barkley, he reminds me of my fucking grandpa.
Really?
Oh my God. Like, it's spot on. Because Charles Barkley, he will say shit that could get him in trouble. And my grandpa never gave a fuck. He always done shit like that. He was telling some of the women in my family that they was fat, all kinds of shit. He'd be like, "You getting a little," and my grandpa would be like, "You getting a little fat, ain't you? You getting a little fat? You getting fat. You getting fat. You ain't gonna get no man like that."
Yeah, I aspire to be that.
My grandpa would say fucked up shit and just laugh. He like, "Yeah, you gonna be too fat to get a man. You gotta lose some weight."
Oh my God.
I was like, God damn. And anybody who knows my grandpa, they know that he used to say shit like that. And then I think it was one holiday. He's like, "You ain't got your girl? You ain't married yet?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "You ain't playing for the other team, are you?" I'm like, "No, Grandpa, goddamn." And he started busting up laughing like, "Ah, ha, ha, ha."
He said, "You ain't playing for the
Grandpa was a fucking trip, bro. Grandpa was a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's how like some of them old grandmas be the same way. Like, yeah, you better stop stepping out the house with that nappy ass hair. You ain't gonna get you no man.
Yeah, I was like, you look at you. You look terrible. You look terrible. You can't cook. Y'all can't do nothing. How y'all going? It was a video I seen actually today of some older black woman. She was chastising her freaking grandchildren. Like, y'all can't do nothing right. You ain't sprayed no Lysol on that rag. You don't know what you doing. Yeah. Wipe that up. You ain't never gonna have no man doing that. Look at you.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah. It's just a different era where like
I think it's like that in all cultures though, especially like in Mexican culture too. Like what Abuelita was getting on all the granddaughters.
Yeah. They want to make sure they have like it. I think back in the day there was like skill set that you were kind of like.
That's what you
taught to be like a good husband or a good wife. You know what I mean? Like for a man, it was like, you had to have certain qualities, a work ethic, obviously, and, just, an ability to just kind of hold the house down. And then for the women, it was more so like, that those nurturing elements and, taking care of the house and stuff like that. That was kind of like drilled into you. But today it's a little bit different. In the way that we, these newer age people are designed. We just kind of like freestyling out here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Keith the good thing about the price of everything going up is it might start to increase the family unit again. And I think that it might the everything going up might start almost, I won't say forcing, but almost it's a weird way of coercion of men and women actually sticking together and piecing up and getting a house or putting their finances together and making investments together. Because this whole toxic single culture is destroying the whole dynamic between men and women.
Yeah, I
think that I love women, man. I really do. But I think that what's going on is between men and women, the dynamic is weird. Because it's like women like, I don't need a man. I will travel by myself. I would do this. I would do that. But then it starts to become very delusional. Because I don't want to say a woman needs a man. But what happens is along the way, you make so many poor life choices and you choose so many poor men that you aren't even ready to be a wife. It's just like a dude that if you chasing pussy all day long and you're not doing any type of form of improvement on your life, you're not ready to be nobody's husband. You're not financially set up. You don't even have an idea. You don't even have an objective of becoming something better. You just out here doing life.
Yeah, I think that's we were talking about it earlier, but like I think that most people live in a world where they want it's almost like if you relate it to sports, like imagine not working out, let's say we're playing football, not working out, showing up late to practice, not knowing the plays, just not trying to get no extra reps, nothing. And you just sitting on the sideline at practice and you complaining that the coach don't put you in.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's like, that's kind of how most people in society operate. Like they just like, hey coach, like why ain't I getting no playing time? But how it works in society is like these people that got like bad mental health and, not bad mental health in a way, but like, not working on your mental health. And, just terrible communication skills and, you know, unhealthy, just physically unhealthy, all these things that, you know, wouldn't necessarily make you ready for like a committed relationship. And they're just screaming like, you know, like there's something wrong with the world, you know, and not necessarily developing themselves. So I just think that I just want everybody to open up their eyes and see like we got to work on ourselves constantly.
Yeah.
And stop trying to like just get the world to like fall in love with this mediocre version of us.
Yeah, that ain't how it work, man. That definitely ain't how it work. So that's why when I make a statement, I don't just be like, man, these women got to get their shit together, man. It's literally a two-sided responsibility.
Yeah.
I feel like when I listen to certain platforms, that whole idea turns me off big time. Where it's like they'll be like, these women are here, they're just being hoes, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and it's blah 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 and blah blah. And every time you look at another post, it's just some weird way of like holding women accountable or calling them hoes and bitches. I'm not with that.
Yeah.
Like that fresh and fit stuff. I like listening to platforms that kind of have a balance. You know what I mean? They have a balance of what men and women aren't doing.
Yeah, you need that. Like you need to like that perspective,
an objective ear. Because if you watch that shit enough, you just be a woman hater. That's the weakest thing you could do as a man is hate women.
I think. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, it's weak. I think women can get annoying sometimes.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, you know, men are pretty annoying too. Certain things that men are doing, and I think that you got to work on that from the inside out.
Yeah, right? I think you were a while back. We were on the phone. And I remember like back in the day, used to be like, you know, like cussing everybody out that cut you off in traffic and stuff like that. And you were telling me like nowadays you may meet it with some gratitude, like, you know, thank God I didn't. Like, thank God you cut me off because you might have saved me from X, Y, and Z, or like you just approach those situations a little bit different now. And I appreciate that because that's not the norm.
No.
Like most people just live their life. You know, they can get like, say for example, like I don't know, the mailman may deliver the mail a certain way, and they've been doing that for 30 years. And for 30 years, the same person will walk outside and cuss the mailman out every single day, versus just like being able to, you know, have the emotional intelligence to just like, one, like just articulate yourself and say like, hey, can you do it differently? Or two, just not have the, you know, not act out and be acting all like rage. I think that's like an emotional child.
You got to work on that shit, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, man, Keith, give me a beat, man. Give me a beat, bro.
You about to rap?
I'm about to rap right now.
By like Future?
I'm about, man, just give me a beat.
Like,
man.
I'm supposed to beatbox?
Yeah,
This is wild. This is going to be a terrible beatbox.
Give me a beat, man.
Yeah. For some reason, you trying to trip on me. Russell Wilson, you trying to deal with me. You got my son out here looking crazy. You got me out here trying to act like I got a baby, but I got about 5, 4, 5. You got baby, that goddamn motherfucker right there. Yeah, I got 7 baby mamas there. About to get it up in Percocet and Molly, yeah. About to pop it, get it going, yeah. I had too many pills inside of my brain. Got that motherfucking man giving me a migraine. Came around this motherfucker, got that shit in his vibe.
You just got unglued at the bit. I was barely getting into character. Once I hit that,
Percocet and Molly gave me a migraine.
I lost it. All right, man. I think we made it to the end of the pod, man.
Yeah, good times.
All right. Well, we made it to the end of this one. If you made it to the end, make sure you subscribe on Spotify. And please give us a rating.
Yeah.
If you have not, give us a rating. We need it. Head on over to YouTube also at a Trucker's Mind Podcast. Go to a truckersmind.com to get some hats, man. And also go over to our social media at _Truckers Mind _podcast. And head on over to Cash App for a friendly donation. If you feel we've earned that, head on the Cash App, and that would be at ATMPOD.
Yeah, and we're trying to get some type of ventilation in here. It's just too hot. Or a better space, a bigger space. So, you know, Any of that support. You supporting whether you send Cash App, supporting whether you subscribe to the YouTube or purchase a hat, whatever the case may be. All of that goes towards us just like being able to bring you better content.
Hell yeah.
You know, we can thug it out in here, but it be hot, bro.
Oh, it's hot right now.
It kind of curates your conversation to where you can't really give it your all sometimes because it's just like I don't want to move too much. It's
man,
hot.
look here. It's hot in here, man. But I don't give a fuck. I love this shit, man.
Yeah.
I love this. We've been doing this shit every week for fucking 5 years, man. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it's like, at the end of the day, like, once this shit really goes where it's supposed to go, I don't even know if me and Keith, I won't say we won't be excited. That's a lie. We'll be excited. But I think it's like, it's been so long we've been doing it that once we get all the success, we'll be like, awesome. We deserve it.
Yeah, it's going to be like, finally.
Yeah. It's like, fuck it. We made it this far.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
but yeah, we probably won't be able to disclose the deal. You know, we'll just say, hey, me and Keith are actually very rich now.
Yeah, you won't hear the numbers from me.
Yeah, you won't hear the numbers here. Mm-hmm. Just know if you see me out in public, they'll be like, oh yeah, that guy's driving a spaceship. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm driving a UFO.
Yeah, they'll be like, that guy's driving that fucking car that Alex Jones is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Jones is like,
You know what? For some reason, I always thought that fucking Keith Finger was an alien. I knew that Keith Finger was an alien for some reason. He was really smart. And you happen to be black, and it's fucking something wrong with that.
Alex Jones is a deep version of Patrick Mahomes.
It is. He is. He's a deep Patrick Mahomes.
He's like, ever since I fucking seen Keith with those glasses, I knew something was up with him. He's like a science professor or something like that. He's a reptilian, and they find a lot of reptilians underneath the sky, and you know, it's the same thing we talked about.
And then Joe Rogan will be like, Alex, man, you really got to tone back, man. Alex, you're going off the rails, man. I was asking you, when did you wake up yesterday? And you just went on a tangent, man. No, but you have to stop talking when other people are talking, man. Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan, what I love about Joe is Joe commands the conversation.
Yeah.
And he does not take shit off nobody. When he had Candace Owens on, that was a really good episode.
He just has so many conversations. He just kind of knows how to, like, and he doesn't do it disrespectfully, but he just lets people know, like, yo, you can't just be cutting me off in conversation, like, you know.
And it was funny. What I love about it is it doesn't matter if they're like political pundits or the left or right wing people. They come on there with their bullshit, and Joe squashes it. Like Candace is like, one of those things, like whatever, And he was like, like what? Like, you can't do that, man. You have like a big following. Mm-hmm. You can't just come over here and just say anything. You need to like. He's like, no, you need to like elaborate. Don't just say like, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like he got on her ass. Or Sanjay Gupta from CNN. Mm-hmm. Man, he cooked that dude. Yeah. Sanjay was fucking. And Sanjay is so smart. But Sanjay was like a fanboy. Yeah. Because Sanjay is a guy that's like he's like a well-known, like, what do you call it? Like a virus, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like a virus aficionado. Mm-hmm. And he was a fanboy for Joe. He's like, I really appreciate and respect what you do. And then Joe Rogan ripped him another asshole. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, two of them, huh?
Yeah, I want to see Morgan Freeman on Joe Rogan. That'd be a good conversation. Killer Mike was just on recently. Great really? Oh my God. Great conversation. Killer Mike is like, at one point, I heard Killer Mike and I was like, man, that guy never listens. He just talks over people, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that was on Breakfast Club, and I think that they probably did a bad job of commanding the conversation. Mm-hmm. But him and Joe Rogan, it's just like this, like another level of fucking podcasting.
Yeah, Killer Mike is he's a sharp guy.
He's very sharp. Yeah. It was great. I love
his album is fire too.
I heard his album. It's really good. I heard it last week. Mm-hmm. I like this year. The best conversations I heard is I love Killer Mike's and Jelly Roll. You know what Jelly Roll is?
The singer?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love Jelly Roll, man. I like him as a person. He's a really good artist, but I love him as a person. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll just keep blabbing.
And promoting Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and shut it out. If you made it to the end of this podcast, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.